What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again, coming at you with another video for Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. Today, we're going to be featuring a clip from last week's stream. If you guys didn't hear, we had a chance to fly on over to Barcelona so we can hang out with the developer team at Ubisoft headquarters. One of the segments that we did is talking about the balance patch. That was actually one of the things that we found out that week there. I think it was Thursday night that it dropped here, so we were super excited to talk about this live on stream. Volkin was the one that took the reins on that as we hung out with him, and he basically took a look at all the different changes and what his personal thoughts are on those particular creatures here. So if you guys haven't checked it out, then stick around because you definitely don't want to miss this one.
Oh man. Oh man, we're back at it again. Part 3 of our live stream over here at Ubisoft Barcelona. It's good to see you guys once again. Thank you for being patient. We got ourselves Mr. Volkin Games, and of course Legend is here as well. Mr. Volkin, what do we got going on today?
I think we're going to go through the patch notes, the balancing changes, talk a bit about the changes to the dungeons, and then I'm going to go through sort of my 2-star units, and this will be a test that I'll be continuing doing over the next week or so, and I'll probably make a video about it, but just trying to find out some like new minimum required stats for getting into Wrath 10, obviously with the change to the boss and all that sort of thing. But we'll jump into, firstly, we'll just go through the monster changes and just discuss them and see if the units are more viable now. And the first one's going to be the Water Giant, and that first change was to his second skill, and what it was the bombs, when max skill, didn't have a 100% chance to be activated. So they buffed it to 70% chance. Now with max skills, he has a 100% chance to apply the bombs, which is a good effect. So he was a bit unreliable. He was a bit not too useful early on. The other change they made was that his third skill, which reduces resistance, refills his turn bar by 50%. That's going to help give him extra turns. This is one I haven't actually talked to the devs about, but I just thought about it then. It'd actually be cool to see that as grants him an extra turn, because even if it only dealt moderate damage, I think then you got a chance to lower the resistance, which increases your chance to apply the bombs. But we'll see how this one plays out. But it's basically, I think the idea behind that is that he's going to reduce the resistance, get his turn around faster, and put the bombs on. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays. Legend probably has 6 of him, so you can test that out and let us know how he goes.
Yeah, don't worry.
The next one, moving on, is the Fire Giant. So we'll just change colours here. And the change was that the bomb... Oh yeah, he gets the turn bar fill as well on his third skill. Just once again, because I think because they're slower units, it takes them longer to get their abilities out. So this is just beefing them up, giving them more speed, and just compensating for their low base speed, I think. So that's the next change with him. The next one is going to be the one everyone's talking about, which is the Earth Giant. I think this is only a minor change. He's been more hit by the HP nerf, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think it's just reduced the attack bar reduction on his third skill, and that's about it for now on that one. Next one, Earth Colossus, who I already thought was a pretty decent unit. He got another bit of an increase. Where is he? The Colo here. So now, what's the added? He's got basically the stun chance of his third skill. Sorry, second skill, is it? Yeah, has been increased. It used to be the 45% chance, and it's gone up to a 60% chance. And like I said, I thought he was a decent unit already. He's got the cleanse with the defense buff and an AoE attack break, but now it's just the stun's more reliable. So there's no complaints with him. I reckon he's going to be a solid unit, and he's in the shop right now, I believe, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, creatures. Yeah, so you can pick him up now. He's really decent.
What was I gonna say? We got a couple of people leaving some comments in here. They're so used to seeing you stream or do the videos live with your jacket on. They're like, what's going on? Where's your jacket at?
He took it off for the ladies,
it's
summer here, so
it's summertime, you know. We got some sun, but yeah, no. Normally back home it's winter, and I got my setup in my garage. I built a room in there, so that's why I'm always wearing the jacket. It's always cold out there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's that one. Moving on, where were we at?
Fire Demo?
Oh, the Fire Dynamo. He actually looks fairly decent now. He's got the added counter to his third skill. So where is he? If we can find him. There he is. There he is. Yeah, so that change was the... what's the first one? Oh, yeah, the HP drain on this one. Just giving him more sustainability. Obviously, he's an attacker, squishy, and just bringing attackers back into play with some more survivability, sustain. I think he'll be an amazing farmer with this sort of thing as well, especially when you look at his third skill now that he gains counterattack for 2 turns. And this is one Childish came up with when we were just talking about it, because normally with the Dymos, the additional attack for their evolution skill is normally the one you want to go for, but with this, considering he has the counter built into his third skill, the AoE attack might be a better option, because then he'll be attacking all the enemies and obviously doing more damage. So yeah, I haven't actually looked at his multipliers. I've heard from Max they're not bad, so it'll be interesting to see him get some play and get that use.
Yeah. Actually, Max is in the chat right now. He's saying now Fire Demo has the highest single target non-ignore defense nuke in the game.
Yeah,
so
there you go. Thanks, Max.
everybody start summoning and pull one. Let's go.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we're looking at the wind one, and that's one that I actually have, so I'm pretty excited to test him out. And his third skill is now giving him basically invincibility if he crits, which is fantastic. So it gives you another option just to survive. And the other thing that I haven't actually been able to find out, maybe Max might have some info on this one, I don't know if he does. The second skill now states that it inflicts great damage, so I'm not sure on the multiplier on that one. So that'd be really interesting to find out what the multiplier does on that. And then now it's also got the disabling HP on it, so that's fantastic. So I'm really keen to build him up. I've just built 3 wind AoE nukers, and I've got another one that I'm working on, and I think I'll get sick of wind pretty soon.
Right. Keep it on the DL. Don't let anybody know about it. Keep it on the DL. Before they nerf it, okay? Keep it on the DL.
Yes. The next one we're looking at is the Fire Necro. Now this guy, like I was saying when we were on the way here, I was at the airport and I sent out a rage message. I fought a team. It was actually someone in my guild username. He has 2 of these guys, and I killed his whole team except for one of these guys that was at 10%. My monsters were all full, and he beat me. And yeah, they heard about it on the chat. But he's basically got another nerf to his passive. It's only a 35% chance of terrorizing, and was it the attack bar supposed to be?
Should be 40%.
Yeah, in the notes, I believe. Any idea what's the 50% on the Fire Necro? It still states 50. Is that? It's a bug. Okay. Yeah. So it's reducing the turn bar fill as well. So hopefully that 35% chance will be enough for one of your monsters to actually take a turn now. Early on it was 100%, dropped to 50, now 35. Hopefully we find a sweet spot soon. But you know, if we drop it down to 5%, I'll be happy. I don't have him, so.
Yeah, we had Ocean in the chat saying he still believes the Fire Necro's still OP. I agree. I think it's still a great unit.
It's still really strong, but
still great.
But yeah, small nerfs instead of nerfing something and making it useless. Just scale it down, and then eventually you'll find a sweet spot. But moving on, Air Vampire. Now let's go find him.
And while you're loading him up, Gianluca wanted to give all 3 of us a shout out. She loves us all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, beautiful. Here we go. I don't know. Now, the vampires are ones. I always say the Earth and Wind Vampire I have no idea about. So, Legend, you want to talk a bit about the Wind Vampire?
I don't have him as well, like, honestly, but...
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you serious?
What? Yeah, I'm serious.
You don't have every nat 4 in the game?
Come on, Hilaire, do something. Do some magic, yeah. But I don't have him, but I think that he kind of makes the unit more usable now. People have him and have been installing him and finding out ways to use him, but I have explained to on stream before that his increased duration of a turn is like having additional of that unit. Like for example, if you have Earth Necro that actually casts all the debuffs on a unit already, and have him to just extend it by 1 more turn, it's like having another Earth Necro on the team, effectively, yeah. So in that way, you can consider even Fire Diva, you have more poisons going on, as well as even saboteurs that you need to freeze up or paralyze something. It's increasing the debuffs by 1 turn, so that can be additional play to lock down the cooldowns. And also with his third skill, he has some form of damage now for the one here. as an increase based on own HP. Yeah, so I mean, people can use him now more.
Yeah, more usable,
Very, very
definitely.
cool.
The next one we have on our sheet, I don't know if you guys saw the notes when they were early released. We've got the new unit, which is the Earth Impo. It was a typo early on. They had it down as the Impo. It's the Earth Imp. And I don't even know what this change is. I mean, 2-star, I should have been looking all over it. But, it's a change to his skill up. Let's not worry about the Imp. I'll check him out. If he's good, I'll let you know.
He's a 2-star, man. You should know.
I know. I should know.
I thought you make 2-star on the
Yeah,
video.
He has
Wow,
2-star for
easy.
breakfast, man.
You should take a break of whatever else you're doing and get back on your level there.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Get some
100%.
2-star army, buddy.
This next change was a change that I loved. I was trying to push it with the devs when we landed here, but they already had it in there, and it was a change to the base speed on the Fire Shaman. I probably loved it because I don't have him.
That's the one I got, right?
Yeah, that's
a horrible change. No, horrible change.
Yeah,
No,
please do something.
Yeah,
about
please fix that.
So the great thing about this is in Arena now, the Earth Zealot has a higher base speed than him, and so originally the Goblin Shaman he had, because in this game you can't resist a purge. He had an irresistible purge with an attack bar reduction, and he was in the top 3 fastest base speeds in the game. So he was overly efficient at doing multiple rolls in Arena. So just the reduction to his base speed, he's still very good and very useful, but it just takes away that I'll just build him really fast, put him on defense, and he'll outspeed everyone and reduce the turn bars. That's what I liked about that change, because he's still really good, but he's just not that crazy. Make him fastest and you win. And the third skill now as well on him only reduces attack bars by 25%, skilling up to
40.
to 40. So it's still decent
really good.
turn bar reduction anyway. So
Yeah.
that wasn't the big thing. The big thing for me was that the speed, the base speed decrease.
It's huge, actually.
Yeah, it's a big change. The next one is another one that I have, which I'll just go click on him here because it's quicker to find him. The Air Ebon, basically his passive heals just got reduced again. So I think it started out at 35, dropped to, what was it at? 20
and now 15.
Yeah, now 15. So it's just, he's the same in the sense of the Fire Necro. He's probably not as overpowered as the Necro was, but it's just small tuning to not over nerf and make a unit useless, and you'll find the sweet spot eventually. So that's only a small change. He's still a great unit. I still use him in Arena and everything, so he's great. Now, the hippos, the belly dancers,
Yes. My favorite unit.
pretty much what the change was that, wait, I'm going to just try and wing this. Their third skill now applies what they needed to gain their extra effects. So that's pretty much the change in all of them. If we go have a look at one, these hippos. Where are the hippos at?
Guys, they want to see the belly dance.
That's you. They're asking
whoa,
you. You gotta work on it.
You're the pro.
We'll say it in the chat right now. Do you want to see Volkin do the belly dance? He's seen my videos.
Childish.
Or do you want me? Because obviously you guys seen that. I think we should get Volkin to do it. What do you guys think?
All
three.
John saying all 3. Vulcan initiation.
Here we go.
All 3. So you can start it. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. You got to carry
There you go. I'm looking at him like, what? It's the belly dance. Look at that hat, bro. I gotta get one of those hats.
Yeah. So what was the? Oh, it's just gaining that effect. Yeah. So that's not a bad change for them. It just makes them more streamlined to use as opposed to what they were. But like I said, I don't know. I'm just not sure on the look of them, so I haven't been tempted to build them yet. So we'll get around to it one day.
Okay,
Maybe
okay.
Childish, that'll be your project.
I might have to do it.
Yeah.
But I got some other units to do now, so I'm gonna have to wait. Yeah.
What's the next one we got here? So the rest. Oh no, that one's gonna be big. But the Air Griffon. Just he's out of change and he just inflicts great damage. So that's gonna be a damage multiplier for his second skill. So I'm gonna look at that because the 2-star, and I'm keen on that. But maybe Max might have a multiplier for us yet. I don't know.
Yeah, Max, get on that. Let's go.
Man, you're not viewing, man. You're working.
Yeah.
The next one is the Air Dragon, and I haven't tested him. I don't know if you've tested him yet, but people have been leaving messages saying that he's doing a great deal of damage with his second skill now with the HP drain. It used to be a HP drain over time of 8%. Now it's instant hit 16%. This is one I don't know. You might know.
I mean,
Is it now that it doesn't require accuracy? Because with the HP drain, did it ever require accuracy?
Yeah, it did.
But
It
when
is a
it's
debuff?
instant, it's
No,
not a
it doesn't,
debuff, so
yeah.
it reduces the need for accuracy on that skill. So
Mm.
that's a good change as well.
That's
Just a little thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
handy. And more face damage on him is fantastic. So the next one's the Water Even Knight. Now I know you were going to test him.
Yep.
You can
Here we
talk
go.
a little bit about him because you're up on that.
Yeah.
Here we go. So his third skill.
So I mean, previously this guy was everywhere. The kind of stats you need to have him to perform well in Rough 10 because he was really low on resistance. He evolves into accuracy actually, and with his skill, he actually needs to cast or land the defense break in order to really see good damage. So one form of a way to glyph him to actually have some form of sustainability is to get him on full lifesteal, but in that way you actually lose out on other stats in terms of like speed and then sustainability in HP and defense. But right now you have at least a guaranteed 10% damage that the enemy actually takes when they attack the Water Ebon Knight. So this is something that is really good because it's something like the Air Ebon but maybe not on par. But I feel that if you want to use him, you can do so now because there is still that confirmed damage. Instead of having him to actually do his disarming bash each time the critical attack lands. So there is still that guaranteed damage, and I feel that you will see him definitely be more in play. And also in arena, there will be people that will use him, have him glyph up maybe very high critical chance, as well as really high on damage and HP. And yeah, he can just be a very brutal force in that sense. And also if you have the Fire Necro, that needs very high crit in order for his mechanic to work. So this one can be a direct counter to the Fire Necro. Yeah. So yeah.
And I already found him to be a pretty solid unit because I know Red Link in chat has him on his defense. And because I use my Fire Dragon as my main nuker in arena, one game I missed the armor break on him, so when I crit him I didn't do as much damage, so his HP was pretty much full and he just revenge one-shotted my dragon. So
really?
That's pretty crazy.
He's actually
insane.
if he stays at that high HP, he's really solid anyway, so that's just added effect to him. And like I said, like that revenge being an armor break as well is pretty big. Next one on the list, what do we got? We've got this is another one for Legend because he's been I know he's been testing it and he's really excited about it. So it's the Water Zealot. So I'm thinking he looks like the next Fire Necro that we're going to be whinging about.
Yeah. So this guy, I think the buff make him a really good unit right now because you definitely can see him being played more. And although the skill is, like I said first, he's a more solo unit, so everything that he does is for himself. Like the changes to the passive, even there is a 50% chance to actually get this Divine Shield, which actually ignores any first attack that comes in for 2 turns. So you can have him, you will see him being played in PvP defense right now because I feel that for a defense to work, to have that ability to ignore any damage for maybe 1 or 2 instants, and it actually happens, he doesn't need to do anything, he just needs to end the turn and then there is a 50% chance to actually cast that buff. So it's an insane buff for him. And not only that, on his second skill as well, there is a 100% chance to freeze. And previously it was 50% chance, which was neither here nor there, but now it's 100%, and you also steal more turn bar. So I really see him as like a really good solo unit. Once again, you can glyph him on maybe additional on life steal, but because he already heals on his second skill,
appeasement even works on that sort of thing as
yeah,
well.
with additional heals. So there's a lot of ways to play around with him, but if you have him, it looks really good on paper. So it takes a lot of time to actually find out where is his best performing stage at. But I think that if you have him, try to incorporate him in your team and try to get a feel of what the balance changes actually help.
And that's the other big thing with him, is that the thing you don't think about too much is that self-heal, because that is just huge for the sustain. Even if you get that 1 turn of invincibility and then your next turn's a heal, plus if you have the evolution skill of giving himself a shield, that's all damage mitigation, plus he's going to be locking someone out with that freeze. It's it's pretty good. And the other thing I love about these sort of monsters with that self-heal is that those like on my my Wind Death Knight, that self-heal, it gives you like probably not optimal, but a use for those appeasement glyphs, because you've normally only got 1 or 2 healers, and for me, like, I've got tons of appeasement glyphs just sitting there, good glyphs, but nothing to use them on. And these sort of units with these mechanics, it actually does give a benefit just for those glyphs that you might have with some better stats.
One of your followers here was asking, as far as like with the new changes, how would you go about glyphing it?
Glyphing this guy?
Yeah.
Well, what would you do? You've got
I would get him really high HP defense because his attack skills on defense, as you can see here, and then maybe crit on lifesteal.
Yeah, with
speed.
A bit of speed as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. He's going to be not as effective early game, I don't think, because he wants a lot of different stats, but he'll still be awesome. I mean, if you get a self heal and you get the invincibility, that's awesome. But especially late game, once you can get higher amounts of all those different sort of stats, it's a similar thing in the sense of the Wind Basilisk. He's sort of like now just a much stronger Wind Basilisk in that sort of sense. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, you can use any sort of glyphs on him with whatever you have, make the most of what you have with the sub-stats. When people always ask about glyphs, it's always like, yes, there's an optimum thing, like for attackers, you want like Frenzy, Destroy, something like that. But when you're looking at, if you're only farming Wrath, you've got Haste, Lifesteal, Precision, and Appeasement. So whatever you have that gives you the best total stats, if you have purples in those and only yellows in the Frenzy, Destroy, obviously just make what you can do with the best stats. What do we got next? We got... Oh, this is the Airek Shasha. You've been testing all these units. Yeah, man. Alright, here we go. He's one that I really wanted to pull anyway, because when I did my video about the Wind Harpy, and she does really solid damage with speed scaling, and I'm pretty sure that her multiplier was 1.5 times attack plus 10 times the speed, and I think his is a 1.6, and his speed multiplier is by 12. But the other thing is he's got about, at 5-star max, about 400 or 500 extra attack on top of that. So I can see him probably being like untested, but probably the highest damage dealing attacker in the game at the moment, AoE wise.
I was gonna say, didn't the Legend, didn't you 5-star him recently and tested him out?
Yeah, just now we were running him on the stream, so I think that he's been showing a lot of consistent damage. Comparing him to the recently nerfed Aeronobis, he was actually dealing more damage to lower HP units, which I feel this is really time for the attackers to shine, and the buff actually helped out a lot, and you can actually see really decent damage, because right now in the form of before that we had the really high HP enemy, and also based on enemies HP dealing units that are here, and then maybe attackers below here, but right now they have like closened the gap so that they actually see better damage coming out from the attackers, and it's great. I mean, you can see more play just in case, just for the Rakshasas. All of them actually can be used in the Glyph dungeons. Yeah.
And the other thing, you were talking earlier about the increase cooldowns. Obviously, the increase by 1 doesn't affect anything with skills off cooldown, but it still does affect units if their skill is on cooldown. It increases it by 1. It does reduce it at the start of the next turn, but it stalls them at that point. And this guy, I mean, if he does do the damage that I think he'll do with that base attack and scaling, it's sort of it's almost worthy of just being the biggest nuker in the game. Like, but we'll see what happens with that the cooldown increase.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But yeah, and then moving on from that.
Yeah.
And then the next one on it is just the fire Succubus, and that's the damage multiplier has been reduced by 20%. And if we look at that, like it is a damage reduction, but the thing about it is the HP drain, ignoring defense, is still at what it is. So for mine, I've actually got mine built on 3 HP glyphs and a crit glyph, and I have noticed the damage reduce a bit with the multiplier, but that HP drain stays consistent. So mine with the 18,000 HP is always doing a guaranteed 9,000 damage, plus whatever else is on top of the multiplier. And mine still, if it crits, is doing, depending on element, about 10 to 15k damage on top of that 9k guaranteed drain. So she's still very strong, but it was a good change because she was pretty crazy early on. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that change, and I think she still works really well. Yeah. And then the rest of it was just some creature fixes. One for me that Childish was really happy for me about was the monks. Now their first skill, it said scales on defense, and it didn't, but now it does. So they're doing more damage just based on defense. It was, and similar things like that. The Crusader, now it increases based on the target speed. and that's pretty much the main gist of it.
Yeah.
The other changes. What are we looking at? Yeah. Then the big change that everyone's probably talking about now, especially because we're probably at that stage since launch where people have just started, like you, getting their Wrath 10 teams farming, and now the changes come where it's reduced the HP and defense of the monsters in the waves, but increased the damage of the boss. So it's kind of hard for me to say it's alright, we'll work through it, because I know it doesn't affect me anymore, because I've gotten past that hurdle where
OP. You're
me and Legend, we're past that little hurdle where it does affect us. But I know Childish, as soon as it launched, we started getting some fails. But like I said, I've just started glyphing up the 2-star army again. Just putting, obviously I'll get yellows and purples, but I'm not gonna upgrade them too far. Like if we look at my nymph here, like I've got 7s and 10s on them, so I'm gonna start at sort of lowish ranges on their stats and slowly work them up. And I'm gonna try and, like I said, in the next week or so, try and find out like a new sort of minimum requirement for your stats, because I'm hoping that, obviously we don't know what the actual damage increase was of the boss, but a lot of people would be doing this with 4-star units and glyphs that are sort of powered up to plus 13 or plus 10 and things like that. So I'm hoping it's going to be a case of either you might have to 5-star another unit or upgrade your glyphs to plus 16, even if they are yellows, to get there. But that's what I hope we can find out just through testing, to see the new minimum requirements that should get you that near range of passing the Wrath 10. So
one thing that I can throw in, just from my experience, we spent like 2 to 3 hours just playing around and tweaking everything out. As you guys know, I run the Water Arcane Bird. We have the Earth Felicore. I was running the Fire Goblin Shaman, which is not something you generally want to run, but I had it. I had the Winter Druid. And then what was my last one? I'm forgetting here. Air Unicorn. I couldn't get the Cleanser. Oh my goodness. So I had all 5 of those. The funny thing of it was, the 5-star Fire Goblin Shaman, he was unique. I mean, his turn bar manipulation, the strip kind of helped out if my purge didn't land or if I didn't have the beneficial blocker available. But the fact that that's just hitting hard, it's definitely hard to keep up with the amount of damage that it's putting out. So we decided to take it out, and Volkin recommended bringing in the 2-star unit, which we just got done talking about, the Air Golem there, just to provide a little bit more defense mitigation, the healing effects for the team, just in case the Winter Druid doesn't have hers available. The cool thing about the Winter Druid is that she does provide the defense buff to kind of assist and kind of provide 2 mechanics of 1, but her cooldown time, even at max, is still 5 turns. So rolling back in the Air Golem, providing that 100% uptime, really kept everything aligned when she provided the heals, and just helped that little bit much to go ahead and keep it consistent. So my team is effective. It's definitely a little bit slower because I'm not having the extra poisons from the Fire Goblin Shaman as well as the strip, but it's working. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what you want. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll all get there again.
That's 100% it, yeah. Because I'm just looking at glyphing it up now, and like we start doing test runs. I'll be using my Earth Felicore just for now, because I haven't got any crystals left to damn shop refreshes.
Yeah, I wonder what happened today. Why don't you take a break and tell them what happened today, bro?
Okay, so we've got the event going on with the overload. So we bought those packs. Before that, I had about 2 million crystals, but we've been discussing the shop and refreshing, and it's awesome at the moment. So just ask Charles. He said to me yesterday, I really need a meditation glyph. I'm like, man, just shop refresh, you'll get it. And how many about 10 minutes later, I got my meditation glyph.
I got pretty, but at the cost of seals, rolling out.
So Childish has been trying to get me to purchase crystals so that I could do my tests. Because it's the new smartest thing to do in the game, is just to buy these sort of packs, and oops.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but like so
the developer just said, "Don't do that, don't do it." I did it already 2 times.
Yeah. So that's the new pro play by Childish.
There you go.
Yeah, so this is what I've been doing, and no speed, but I've been working at this, and we've been punching through it a bit this morning.
We'll fix that.
And they say they're going to fix it, so
I hope they fix it now so you can resell it.
Speed up? Nah. But I've spent about my plan was to re-glyph everything and do this testing, and then I started shop refreshing, and I've spent about 4 million crystals this morning on stuff from the shop. So
I think you missed the magical book there.
no, that was a Seals one.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, they've just nerfed it. Like while I've been talking about it. Here we go. Attack 10 crit. Ooh, that. Yep.
Oh my god.
Why not?
That's a good crit.
I don't have many of them. I'm still farming Wrath, getting those speed glyphs.
He's literally skipping everything but purples. We
don't do yellows anymore.
Yeah, I do yellows, so that's all good. I get more value out of it.
I just want to get a real good purple here. I just want my haste.
Buying the fragment bots?
The fragment
I would
one.
buy that.
Yeah, that's going to be buy. It's got crit damage and attack, But yeah, this is what we've been doing all morning.
He's doing what you exactly want him to do. He's just burning his crystals.
This is just promoting.
Look at that.
Oh. No speed. We'll do one more purple and then we'll stop. Next purple will.
You guys, he was saying that next purple will stop. 3
Yeah.
hours
So
ago.
this is what we do. And I just want the
horrible.
next purple haste. Okay, like
He was
There's a purple. There's a
no,
purple stop.
That's right.
That's what you get.
That's no subs though.
That doesn't matter. That's what you get.
That doesn't count for a purple, does it?
That does count for a purple.
Okay, that counts.
Okay.
We'll stop there. But
Stop there.
but yeah, no, we're gonna.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I've heard the shop was nerfed, but it's still not bad if you make use of it. Kappa, get around him. Finally got that Kappa. But yeah, that's what we'll be working on in the next week or so. Is pretty much just trying to get this. I know I'll take the Earth Felicor out. I'll put the Assassin back in. I haven't built the Earth Basilisk, so I won't be able to test him, but. That's my sort of team that I'm going to be trying to test over the next week. Maybe if I get Wi-Fi on the plane home, I'll spend
There you go. Yeah,
20 hours testing that, and we should get it spot on. But,
oh my goodness!
But yeah, that's what we're pretty much going to be looking at. And is there any? You want to go through any questions or anything like that?
And that's what I was thinking about. Since we kind of again, for all of you guys that tuned in and were super patient, thank you guys so much for your support. We were trying to get a couple of things figured out. And in the process, we got a little bit delayed. So since Volkin's stream started a little bit late, we definitely want to take the opportunity to answer any questions that you guys may have asked in the past while he was going through the creatures, or even from our two streams, Legend and myself. Feel free to put them out there. Again, we actually have a couple of developers around us, so we can definitely check in with them if you guys have any more questions.
Oh, and while we're waiting,
silently.
Oh, now he's leaving.
Now he's leaving.
and while we're waiting for the questions to roll in, I just realised we forgot to talk about the HP scaling nerf.
Oh yeah.
And there was a couple other ones. I know people have asked me about the Earth Zealot not doing as much damage with his second. I believe that's a bug. Yeah. There's a few little things like that. If it wasn't in the notes, it's a bug and it'll be looked at.
Fixed already.
Oh, okay, it should be fixed already.
Okay.
But yeah, the HP scaling, I was a big one saying that I thought it was a bit crazy. I missed the last glyph removal because I was going to test the Ice Knight on a damage build because I honestly thought he was going to be the highest damage dealing 2-star. But yeah, it was like Legend said earlier, it was a good way just to bring everyone closer together and just even out the playing field and bring attackers back into the game, because you don't want the tankiest unit. Ooh, what was that? Purple.
Purple. I left it there for you to click, but I forgot about it. I know, right?
Yeah, you don't want the tankiest units in the game doing the most damage. So that was a very very good change. I think it's healthy for the game, and I know some people, their Earth Giant won't be one-shotting people without armor break, but it's progression for the game, bringing attackers back into it.
Yep. One of the questions that we got asked was Chris Alex. He says, "Are new creatures coming soon?" Chris, I don't know if you heard earlier today between Tongi and Sergi, they were basically saying kind of the process of how they're looking at providing a couple of updates down the road. Breaking it up between either some kind of a balance patch or a quality of life improvement or some kind of feature. So they're kind of breaking it in, as far as what is it, every month, a month and a half? Month and a half. So obviously we had a balance patch right now. We cannot say that the next one is going to be there, but I mean, you can expect something new. Hopefully, if there's no any other issues there, within the next month to month and a half. So that's what we're kind of looking at that. But again, I honestly, regardless if we can't give all the information away, I'm pretty excited for you guys to see the creatures. It's going to be really, really nice to try to incorporate them in the team. So let me see. We had another question. I don't know if we can scroll up here in the chat. Let me see. Again, if you guys miss a question, or if we miss a question, feel free to tag me again. It's just the fingers there.
2 fingers.
Oh, 2 fingers? Ooh,
No,
ooh.
no.
Let's see. Well, we'll have you guys just re-tag us there, and we'll go ahead and... Ooh, there we go. Okay, now I figured it out. This is a different type of computer. So, Gianluca says, isn't the cooldowns on the hippos a little too high? The cooldown right now, I think, is 7, but 5 when it maxed out. What do you guys think about that? Is that Hilaire? What do you think about the cooldowns?
Meditation glyphs.
Meditation glyphs? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe, yeah. The thing that we already made a change for these creatures, so we'll keep checking them with the new changes, and if they stay not usable, yeah, we'll check the cooldowns.
Yep. What is the cooldowns at? I haven't seen that.
5 turns.
5 turns.
Yeah.
Skill ups.
Yeah, with skill ups.
Ah, okay.
Let's see here. Let me scroll up. Let's see. Abro Nightbrow says, question for the devs, what is the next step? Let's scroll up here. Trying to scroll back down.
Well, I'll just bring attention to the powerfulness of 2 stars and how overpowered they are. You notice in this team, the 1 3-star that I put in there is the only one that died. So 2 stars OP.
Did you try with 1 star?
Hey, that's my other account. That's
I
the
know.
1 stars. Yeah, we get there.
Yeah.
And you really did it.
Yeah.
I'm not at Wrath 10. I sort of get to Wrath. I can get my... Oh, I'm using the Windstone Guard, and I can get him to solo the boss at Wrath 9, but probably not anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the next one we got?
We did it.
Let's see.
We did.
Terrence is just re-asking regarding the Granite Death Knight. 3rd skill heals allies for 50% of damage received, but his skill are based off defense. This seems counterproductive. What's your thought on that?
Oh, okay. So you want to build him with high defense, but then you also want him to take damage to heal. Is that the sort of thing? Yeah. I'm hearing what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's a pretty...
They're saying about the Earth Death Knight.
Yep.
His the skill where all the damage he takes heals his allies, but his other skill deals damage based on defense, which encourages you to build him high defense, which reduces the damage he takes. So maybe like an idea of making that skill deal damage based on HP, so you can build him HP tanky, and it synergizes well.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good question.
Confirmed. It's in.
Huh?
It'll be implemented.
There's a question
tonight,
about the
guys.
gym.
That's in.
What's your routine?
Oh,
No, so that's it's a good suggestion, and I think they'll look into that. So that's awesome.
they want to give a fun question for you. What's your gym routine?
My gym routine at the moment.
How do you get big?
I'm doing push pull legs and a cardio day in between.
There you go.
Get around it.
6 hours in a row.
Push pull legs and then skipping. Skipping's the best one. I love skipping.
There you go. Any plans for the Fire Ebonite? I guess that was one of the ones that has been criticized as being not one of the best natural forests.
I actually wouldn't mind pulling him to test him. I can't remember. Someone left a comment in one of my videos saying try him with the Fire Anubis and then the Fire Succubus to make the Fire Succubus really HP tanky. One-shot someone, and then with the drain and the heal, she'll kill herself and then be revived with high speed and high HP, and roll through like that with the parasites. So that's something I actually want to test. I like that sort of stuff. But him in general, I feel like he's... it's sort of... definitely on auto side of things, I don't think he's that usable. The AI, just because you're not going to know when you're going to take the damage and all that sort of thing, and then I don't know whether it's the cooldown being longer, but I feel like he could have a niche in countering some arena comps if you can get him a turn but the low speed. So he's one of those ones you really need to... Have you got him?
Christian?
The Fire Death Knight?
No.
He's one of those ones that you really like. I'd have to get my hands on and actually test him thoroughly to give a good opinion on him. So
You're in a run right now. Let me go ahead and check. There was a question with regards to the summer sales. People were saying that the event still looks the same. I purchased mine, and mine. I'm in my game right now. They both show at a discounted price, so I don't know if there's something going on or if you already purchased them, but you only can purchase them one time. At least the medium pack and the enormous pack of it. So, I mean, everything's good on my end. If you guys are not seeing it, that might be something to throw in the feedback section too as well.
I mean, I can just cancel this run and have a look.
Take a look and see. Well, yours is in a different dollar amount because of
Yeah,
the,
but yeah,
you'll know what it is.
mine was definitely cheaper when I bought it.
You can compare the second to the last one. It's supposed
There
to
you
be
go.
about the same.
So that was that.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, that because I think that's normally 150 for me.
Yeah.
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 It's double of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely reduced for me. Wait, are you saying that one's reduced as well?
No.
The little one?
No.
Yeah. The medium. Yeah.
Two of them,
Medium.
the
Yeah.
medium.
Both of them.
Yep.
Okay, I won't buy that now, but don't worry, that's getting purchased off screen. Anything else?
I mean, there's a ton of questions here. One of the questions was from Zuras is why does the Earth Rakshasa has a 6-turn cooldown? I guess I'm assuming that he's
Well, I
a
should
little
stop
upset.
doing runs and we should look at these things.
Upset because the maybe the cooldown was a little bit too high given his skill.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the
Let's have a-
cooldown is a little high?
I think
Yeah.
I think the Earth one though, that are we talking about the third skill? Because that's a really power. Like I actually like that. I really want one of this guy. The third skill, yeah, it's got the long cooldown, but it's a very beneficial effect. It's a turn bar reduction. It's a turn bar increase, so it's very beneficial. The other thing about him though is this second skill is a very low cooldown, which also does it has a really high multiplier and has a chance to be AOE. So I think it almost like it balances him out a bit.
Right.
Just in the PvE sense. In PvP, I don't think you're really ever going to worry about the cooldown on an AoE nuker. It's just whatever it is. Like I really want to test this guy in arena because I just feel like, especially with me with my Earth Zealot, I feel like you can boost, get him to attack, reduce their turn bars, get yours back up, and then my Earth Zealot can use that powerful second skill into an armor broken target before they get their turns as well, just to cap off those kills. And worst case, if he gets a turn again, he's got this massive attack that has a chance to go AoE as well. So I really like that unit. But yeah, for PvP, like I said, I wouldn't really notice it too much. But for PvE, is probably why it's sitting there because it's a really strong skill.
Water Holy Sister maxed out on the third skill, 5-turn cooldown, and then the Air Crusader 6-turn cooldown. What's your thoughts about that in comparison?
I was actually looking at that because if the well, let's just do this while we do it, and I might get him. If they ever decide to give me a Water Monk, I want to try a 3-star team of Water Monk, Water Sister, Air Crusader, and 2 nukers to try and get some faster sort of just 3-star monster runs. And that's something I actually noticed the other day when I was looking at it, was that Crusader having the 6-turn cooldown, and I honestly feel that the Water Sister's skill is a stronger skill, so that's not a bad question for you guys over there.
Which one?
The thought about the Wind Crusader having a 6 with his third skill is a 6-turn cooldown, a max skill, and the Water Holy Sister is 5-turn, a max skill. When the Water Sisters one almost seems like a stronger ability,
Yeah, but water, yeah.
or is it due to the turn bar and you don't want the we got 3-star the turn bar coming around too fast?
The fact is just that they just have a different purpose.
Different units, different proposals. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, I think that's just one of those it is what it is sort of ones. Any more childish?
Yeah, we had a question from Max asking about the reflective damage. Max, if you are hearing me right now, you can go ahead and repost it. I'm trying to... your message got sent all the way up here, but let's see. Here we go. Do the devs have any intention of making reflect damage done pre-mitigation? Currently, it doesn't do so, and that kind of counters the point of reflect since it's on tanky units. It's a pretty good question. Elad, come on over.
You need to destroy with me?
No, but just go.
Yeah, come in this way. Come in this way.
We'll squeeze him.
Coming this way.
Here he comes.
So yeah, reflect damage. Yeah, I've already heard this feedback. It was like the people were comparing the
lightning rates are awesome at the moment. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, people were comparing the reflect damage of the fire golem and the buff, the reflect damage buff, and saying that the one of the golem is way better. We can definitely review it. Yeah, if we see that the buff doesn't make a lot of damage, and the buff is useless, we can check it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's good. And we appreciate you being open and willing to do
What's
it.
happening?
Nice Crusader. Ha! I got the better one, huh? Alright.
What else we got?
Any more questions for Idea?
Yeah.
We forgot
Yeah.
While I'm here.
Yeah.
Damage reflection also takes into account
Wait, hold up,
the
Nat 4.
enemy's defense, right?
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
reflect
water
back.
cannon?
Yeah, that's why. That's why for now maybe it's not it's maybe not as strong as we planned it. as it takes into account the defense. So that's why we're totally open in reviewing it.
Oshi says, will there be skins in the future or an option to have the evolve units? I don't know the fun form. Well, when it comes to skins, one of the, I mean, that's I will basically say from my perspective, that's one of the things that I was really excited to see. Hopefully down the road, that would really new. That'd be really cool to have some like customization features on the heroes. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on in the future, but we've definitely mentioned it to them, as I feel like that kind of mechanic could give some kind of incentive for PvP down the road, being able to get something unique like that. So hopefully, they'll consider implementing it.
Especially for me, like, because I know there's one that I really want to be able to change, especially because I know there's some people that want like to be able to use the early evolution stages, because the art in this game is fantastic, and like there's that much effort that's gone into like animations and all that sort of thing, and I definitely want to be able to have my golem on the little boxer man, so that's one that I'm really keen for, that sort of thing. And I know there's a lot of people that want different ones for it.
Eleri says, Zura says, do skins instead of LD. There you go. You got your
do
substitute.
skins instead of well, anyway, as Tanguy said, LD is not planned, so
yeah.
Do you want to give me a nat 4?
There you go.
Yeah, well, it didn't work.
It didn't work for me.
This one.
I'm feeling it. I've had good lightning rays.
Fire Diva. Okay, not working.
Hey, it's better than what
You
that's what
got
I
it.
was
You
summoning for.
got it. You got it.
Yes,
You got
now
what
we're
you
going
want.
to test
Yeah,
that.
you wanted it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He needed
exactly
it.
what I was summoning for.
Okay.
He literally
Yeah.
needed that.
A successful session.
Just
yes.
to ask.
Yes, there you go. Ask the devs and you get what you want.
That's a real 100% certified organic, real reaction there.
Yeah, that's
He
awesome.
pulled what he wanted.
Where is he?
Look at
There
him.
he
Oh,
is.
it's gone.
Yes, here he is.
Look at that.
Alright,
He,
incoming video.
incoming video on that one.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let's see. Actually, I don't think there's anything else that stick around right now. Let's see. Hot Fist, he says, tell us the truth. Dude, mobs are gonna alternate something. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah,
You
well,
guys.
you got. Okay, we get it. You got questions?
Yeah.
Wait. How do we do this? Wait. I saw that Duke one.
Junex says to advertise the game a little bit more in
Southeast
SEA.
Asia?
Oh, Southeast Asia. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the advertising works for it, but hopefully we
We
can
have
get that.
YD, right?
Yeah, we'll just ask YD. There you go.
Where was the? I can't remember where we were at. I can't find it.
Oh no, it's all good. We'll
Tell us the truth.
Yeah, Dupe Mob is going to unlock alternatives, and yeah, no.
Going to unlock alternative skin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to use a duplicate mob to unlock an alternative skin, but yeah, hopefully if we ever do something with duplicates, it's going to be used in a better fashion. But that's just my opinion. There was a question about Fire Giant and PvP or PvE, like considering the change on it, would you use them in a certain situation, or like would you use him in more like anything additional, like, or do you just
the Fire Giant.
would you play around with him now in PvE, considering that some of the
Tested, you've got two.
have you tested in PvE?
Yeah. So I think it's viable because the bombs, like I said, you can stun the enemies now when a bomb is detonated, and most of the time you definitely want to run at least 2 of them. So you can maybe use a Fire Giant and then either another Water Giant or even another Water Witch. But once again, the Fire Giant and the Water Giant is not 100% to land the bombs. It's only 90%. So yeah, in that way there is still a bit of I don't know, maybe 100% should be the best, but because you still need really high accuracy and attack damage, and also speed to land the bomb, so maybe there can be more balances coming up, because previously before this, the Fire Giant was balanced as well, right? We did they did add in the additional effect to reduce enemy speed. So that was something that they did previously, so there were balances to bombs, and then now another buff to the Fire Giant. So if it's still not on par with the whole bomb mechanic, they might do future balances as well, I'm sure. Yeah, so whether it's viable now, I think it can be played. I do feel that very viable PvP bomb team can be formed as well, because now you have attackers, and then with the Fire Shaman out of the way as well, you need to find alternative methods to use the units that you have. So
And the big thing for those bombs too is the irresistible purge. So you can get a reliable purge on immunity glyphs to get those bombs out too.
Question for Clovu, any information on the guild update? There was no information disclosed. All we basically said that there will be future content that's going to be regarding guilds, and that was straight from the devs. So that's all we know for now. Hopefully we'll be able to know more Neon Nezzy's question, personal question to either one of you guys, since you guys are super OP. Water Faceless, how would you build it? He has his double speed, double HP, double attack. How would you go about building the Water Faceless, given his mechanic?
Yeah, he's one of those units that I really want to test because he's one of those. He just infuriates you when you fight him on arena defense.
Okay.
So I'd be doing the same sort of thing. Just it's just fast HP and basically fast and tanky. And he's not like I wouldn't use him as much on offense. He's not like I've said this in a video before. On my offense, I want to build a sure thing that's going to win 90. Most of the time. Whereas on defense, I like sort of cheesy mechanics that RNG on defense. It's the AI controlling it, so I like having RNG being able to play a big part in it to get me those wins because you need a bit of luck on your defense to beat someone that's fully prepared for it, and that's the perfect passive for it because especially if you need to land if he's tanky, even with the defense, and you need to land that armor break to get enough damage to kill him. To land that armor break, they've not only got to get through the 50% chance of him avoiding the attack, then once they get through that, they've got to get through a 50% chance of him reflecting the harmful effect. And then you've also got his second skill, which I believe does damage based on max HP as well. Yep. So also incentive to build him tanky. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is the Madness, which is a great effect. So he's doing good damage. And then not only doing good damage because based on HP, he's making your enemy kill themselves. So I just find him one of those really infuriating units. And the other thing about it is most of the faceless units you want to get the evolve is either a purge for the enemy or a cleanse for yourself. And he's one of the ones that I've got the earth one. I really wanted the purge to use in strength. I got the self cleanse, but he's the one that I'd probably want the self cleanse on. So they say they do go through all that effort and finally get that debuff on you, he can just get rid of it the next turn and then it doesn't stay. So definitely a great unit, but I think you're on the right track. Just fast and tanky so he gets the turns around and just on defense hope that he gets a little bit of RNG in his favor and he can just wreck people.
Right. Another question was with regards to something similar to the Summoner's War and Transcendence. Is there any talk about that? There has been events in the past doing Supreme Soulstones that have had a chance to get a Nat 4. I believe there's a Bright Soulstone that you can get in the Guild Shop if you save up enough. Obviously it costs a lot, but there's something for that. So I don't know if there's going to be stuff in the future. If you want to chime in,
what like a Transcendence,
like a Nat 4 summon kind of thing. I know there was one. We had one in the inauguration of that. Do you think there's ever going to be stuff like that?
Not soon.
Okay, not soon. One thing to ask.
I think in the Q&A a while back, you guys said that was more of just a big moment event sort of thing. It's not a regular thing because for me in these sorts of games, I think having a good amount of rarity to the good units is what makes them special when you get them. And if you're giving them away that frequently, it sort of loses that excitement to it. But that's just how I look at it sometimes.
Right. One question that came on, and I can take the reign of this one. They were asking, I think it was Jay, asking what kind of things will you do to encourage more English streamers out there, since we have quite a bit in the French and Brazilian community. So as far as my perspective goes, I don't know how much you know what I've done from previous games or what I'm currently doing now, but I'm definitely keeping an eye out on a lot of different English speaking streamers, checking out what they do, how they do it. As you guys know, I've been more than happy to bring a wide variety of people on my channel, give them the chance to showcase you to the community. If I really feel like they're doing a great job, I would like to do it. Now, I'm going to keep it honest with you. I'm really, me personally, I want to give back to those that are really doing their thing. If there's some people that are just getting into it for the fun of it and they want to do some summons, then I'm totally for that. But I want to see, who out there is really trying to bring something unique to the table, set themselves apart from the rest. That's not going to really change me, considering you or not, but it's something that I take a look at. And so we have a lot of people that have recently started streaming and they're doing great things. I haven't seen anybody that I've really like, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't, collaborate with them, but I'm really open-minded with that. But I'm, since my time is limited, I got a wife, I got a son. I'm just trying to work with who is really kind of, making a name for themselves. Outside of the for the Ubisoft side, I'm sure maybe you could speak on that. But one thing that we do note is that they are working with a couple of streamers, YouTubers, providing a little bit of a spotlight in the game. I think one time, I think the initial time when the game started, I had a spot there for a week or two, and now they've sort of incorporated trying to mix it up and trying to provide a spotlight for people on a weekly basis, mixing it up. So again, I feel like I'm kind of speaking on them, but me personally, if I was looking at it from the outside, like if you're one of the people that are looking to get the spotlight, then think about what you can do for the community that can definitely would benefit them. What you can do to separate yourself from the rest, and I think that'll carry you forward. So, yeah. Anything that you want to add to that?
Well, beside what we're already doing here, for example, we have a lot of plans, but it's not exactly my field to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, and how are we doing on time there? I know that we're kind of in there, so.
I think we are running.
Okay. Well.
No, not okay.
Okay. Well, I know we started like 20 minutes late, so but maybe we can get like one or two more questions there, and then we can kind of wrap it up and see where we go from there.
We have a bug. So
Okay.
Okay.
Leaving.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's all good. We gotta fix
Go
it.
for Superman. So
Yeah, Superman's gonna go fix it. All right, and thank you, Tong290, saying it's a good mobile game. We appreciate it. Do you want to answer this one? What do you guys think about the Art and Justicar? The third is useless, and the AI is favor over the second skill.
the Ardent Jessica, the fire one, I think it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of actually building up 2 of it to be really crazy in PvP defense. Have him really high resistance, and his Phoenix Soul skill is just insane over the roof because previously we had phase 1 with one of the devs one before, and he had it built up really high defense and then really fast and tanky as well. So if you have really high resistance, it's really nothing you can do with the Phoenix Soul ability, as well as the decrease in turn bar and the heals. Alright, yeah.
That's all right.
Well,
So just Joe, moving
it's
around.
Earthquake and UB, yeah. So anyway, he's still a good unit. I feel can be used and explored further because there is so much. Like I said, he's a multi-role. There is decreased turn bar, heals.
I think the big thing on that one, because people have been saying, I've got this guy. He's like, he doesn't rate well in the tier list and stuff like that. And I say, look at his second skill. It's amazing. But I think the issue with this one is that, from what I've heard from people that I say, just use him. He's got a fantastic second skill. He basically makes you not need the water bird type thing, and he does a heal for your team. I think it's the AI refuses to use that second skill, which is the issue with him. Which is, I'm sure, something you guys can
fix. Yeah, I think I've highlighted it before as well, because he was using his third skill more than his second skill.
Like, that's what I've heard. People saying he uses his third skill than the first skill, and I'm sure if that is a bug, then they can look into that. Because I definitely reckon he's a great unit, but obviously you need that AI doing what it's supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
What's next?
What do April Nabaza says? What is the next stage for PvE part of the game? I think what we've already discussed early on was we were talking about that there's going to be upcoming content that's going to revolve around guilds. There wasn't any additional information on that, but obviously guilds can be something. I mean, it can be something PvP oriented, it can be something PvE oriented, but we don't know right now, or we can't pass that along right now. Hopefully when we can, we will let you know. Just know that it's going to be involved with guilds, so it's going to be some kind of thing that you're going to be able to work together with one another. So when we can give information, we will give it, but that's all that can be given now. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and close it off right there for the questions. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to both our Team France crew that streamed earlier today, as well as our channel. Big thanks for Legend and Volkin to be collaborating with me for the channel.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
And as always, Team Ubisoft here in Barcelona, thank you guys so much for everything that you've done. And
Get in further.
thank you for bringing in.
Can you see me? Wait,
They can't see you. You gotta hug. You gotta hug us.
I
gotta hug us.
I just want to say one last thing.
One last thing. Okay.
Spoilers
coming in. Spoilers. Let's go with the spoilers.
Not related with the game.
Oh.
I just wanted to thank you guys for coming, because you did quite a big travel for you, like 25 hours.
Made it.
10 and
10 and change.
10
14,
also.
around 14.
So I'm really glad you came here in the studio. I'm really glad of the work you're doing for the community, etc., for the quality of the content you're producing. So I'm super happy to have you here. I think this is shared with the rest of the team. We are super proud to have you here.
Thank you.
Keep doing the same, because it's at least for us it's super useful also. And now we are going to the beach to celebrate that.
All right.
all together.
Party!
You guys heard it here. We have to unfortunately stop because we have to go celebrate. I guess that's so. But until next time, guys, it's your boy Childish, Volkin, Legend, and the Ubisoft team here in Barcelona with ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you all in the next one.
Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye bye.